Now I'm getting the today as a Friday instead of the number. Okay. So whenever you want to get the name of month, the name of weekday. So in that scenario, we have to use a date name function. How to get a weekday name from given date. So in this scenario, we have to use the date name function. Now we have another function called date add. Select date add. Okay. Now it is asking the interval. Okay. Interval is nothing but a month, year, days. Okay. I'm going to add an interval month. Now today date. I'm given the today date. Comma. So expression. It is increment value and then expression. So I'm going to give the increment 4. Okay. As data add. If I run this one now, okay, I'm getting the month is a 10th month. So today month is a 6. So what I want to add a current date to the 4 months extra I'm adding. So it will add the date add function is used to add months, year or days. Now today the month is a 6th month. Okay. Now I added 4. So 4 months is added to the current date. Now I want to add a year instead of a month. Copy this line. So just replace instead of month, I'm going to add a year. Now we will get a year 27. Now see, I'm getting the year 27. If I change this value, okay, 6. So 6 years will add to the current date. Okay, now I'm getting the year 29. Now I can add the days also. Instead of a year, we can add a day here. Now, if I execute this query, now see date is a 9. Now I'm getting the data 15 because we are going to add a 6 days. Now I want to get yesterday data. Okay, now we are added the current date to the month, year date, but how to get a previous data? So with the help of this date add function, you can achieve that one also. Copy this line. Okay. So I'm going to give the -1. Okay. Now execute this one. Now see, I'm getting the date 8 because I given -1. So I'm getting the yesterday date. If you want to get a day before yesterday, just give the -2. Now it will give the 7th. Now see, I'm getting the 7th. Now I given a day. Instead of day, you can give month, year also. For example, copy this line. And if you give month, it will give the last 2 months date. If you give year, it will give the last 2 months year. Execute these 3 queries. Now see, I'm getting the 7th and I given a month. So that is why I'm getting the 4th month and given a year -2. That is why I'm getting the year 21. So like this, by using date add function, we can add a month, year, date to the current date. Or if you want to get a previous month, previous years, okay. So based on a client requirement, we have to give the minus. Okay, depends on a client requirement. We have to use our logics. So with the help of date add, we can achieve this requirement. Date add function. Date add function.
ఒక డౌట్ ఉందండి.
చెప్పండి.
ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఇవి 3 డిఫరెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయ్యాయి కదా డేటా యాడ్. ఇలా కాకుండా అన్ని చేంజెస్ ఒకటే డేట్ లో అవ్వవా?
అంటే దీని పక్కనే రావాలండి.
అన్ని ఒకటే దాంట్లో అంటే మొత్తం ఒకటే ఫంక్షన్ లెక్క.
ఒకటే ఫంక్షన్ లెక్క కావాలంటే దీన్ని అపెండ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఉంది కదా, దాన్ని కాపీ దిస్ లైన్ కన్కాటినేషన్ చేయాలి. C# లో మనం కన్కాట్ చేసాం కదా, గుర్తుందా? సో అలాగే ఇక్కడ కూడా ఈ సెలెక్ట్ తీసేసేయండి. తీసేసి కరెక్ట్ సింటాక్స్ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ మంత్. Concatenate this output. Select date. Mistake. Okay, I will search on this one. Now we can concatenate however you want to say syntax. Okay, with the help of this concatenation only we can achieve that one. Now I'm just doing undo. Okay, now we will on top of right. Okay, now how to get a previous data using data and a function. Okay, now with the help of date add function we can get a previous day, month, year like this. Now we have another function called data diff. Okay, scroll down, data diff. So what is the use of a data diff function? For example, I want to get the difference of last 6 months. Okay, I given the from date and destination date. So I want to know the how many months difference, how many year difference between both the two dates. Select data diff. So date diff, we can give the interval. Interval is nothing but year, month, date, and the start date and then end date. So interval I'm giving the month. Okay, and then start date I'm giving the year 2020 0404, and the today date I am giving. If I run this query, okay, now the difference between 2022 today data, it is showing that 38 months difference because I given a month. So here I'm given a months. Now data diff. Now select this query. If I give year instead of a month, I can give the year also. Now it is given the year 3 years a difference because it is a 2020. Now year is a 23. If I give the day instead of a year, okay, we can get the date. I'm giving the day instead of a year. Execute this query. Now see, I'm getting the 1161 days difference. So like this, we can achieve the date diff function. With the help of a date diff, we can get the difference between from date and source data, destination data. So maybe there is a difference. For example, I want to calculate the age of the person. So I want to know the person date, his date of birth, and a today date. Today date is a get date. So it will give the difference of a months, year, days. In that scenario, we have to use the date diff function. Okay, so these are the date functions. With the help of these date functions, we can achieve all this. Now we have some other functions called convert functions. Okay, convert date functions. Now what is the convert functions of a date? For example, if I run now, select get data. Okay, if I run this query, it is displaying the format of like this. So client asked me the requirement. I don't want to display this format. I want to display instead of instead of this format, I want to display DD. Okay, DD YY. Okay, and they will ask you the DD YY, and they will ask you the DD YY, and they will ask you the DD YYY. So maybe how they want the date format. So we have to display the according to them client requirement. So by default, I'm getting this format. If I use the get date function, but I don't want this format. I want a different format. Now we have a SQL server. We have a convert function. Okay. Select convert. Okay. Now it is expecting the target type. I want to convert date into varchar. Okay. Varchar of just I'm giving the 15. Okay. I'm giving the get data. So what format? I'm just giving the 101 as a date. I will explain what is that 101. Okay. Data. If I run this query, now see I'm getting the date format, month, date, year. Okay. Okay. So this is a month, date, and then a year. I'm getting this format. So we have a format. This is a predefined number given by the SQL server. So 101, 102, 103, 102 up to I think we can give the 125, and then it will start some of the numbers. So we can search on Google. So if you based on this number, it will give the date format. Now I'm going to copy this one. I'm giving the 102, 103, 104, 105. If I run these queries, now see it is giving the different date formats. It depends on your number input. So like this, we have to get the date format. We can display the any of date format based on a client requirement. We have to use this convert function. Okay, convert function is used to get the different date format. Now this convert function is used for only converting the date? No, not like this. This convert function is used to convert from one data type to another data type. In C#, we'll use the convert data to into convert data to string, convert data date time like that. Here also it will convert the data type from one data type to another data type with the help of a converter function. Okay, now I want to convert a integer to string. Okay, so this is string to integer. In a string, I'm going to give the some number like this. Now I want this number, it is present in a string, right? I want to convert into integer. So how to convert? Select, convert. So I want to convert this number into integer type. I'm giving the int. So what is the expression? Expression I'm giving the number like this as a number. Now see, I'm able to converting this string representation of the number to the integer. Now, if I try to convert a string to integer, I will get a issue. Convert. I'm going to convert to integer. The type is a number, something number I'm giving as a number. In this scenario, it will fail because this is a text and this is that we are trying to converting into the integer. So it will fail. Conversion fail issue will get. Now see, we are getting the conversion issue fail because we are trying to converting the string values into integer type. Instead of this, if I convert varchar of okay, varchar, I'm going to convert 10. So it will convert the string. If I run this one, now I'm able to get in the data. So like this, we can convert from one data type to another type by using the convert function. Now we have another function, select, try convert. This is a new feature added by the SQL server. Now I'm going to converting integer. Now I'm giving the number here. Okay, as a number. If I run this query, okay, I don't get any issue. Instead of that, I'm getting the null. Then what is the difference between convert and try convert? So in convert function, if it is a conversion type is a failure, we'll get a issue. Instead of that one, we can use a try convert function. If conversion is a fail, it will just return the null value instead of the issue. So in real time also, we have to use the try convert function to check the whether data type is varied or not by using the try convert function. Okay, so we have this is the latest feature added by the SQL server, try convert. Now we have another function called cast. Select, both are used to convert to data type. Now cast is expecting the expression. I'm going to give the expression 1, 2, 3. I want to convert into int as a int as number. So what is the difference between this cast function and the convert function? So both are the same. Both are used to convert to one data type to another data type. There is a smaller difference. If you want some date formats, okay, like in that scenario, we have to use the convert function, okay, and other rest of the scenarios both are same, convert and the cast function. There is a scenario, I mean, syntax only difference. In convert function, we are given the first data type and then a value. In cast function, first we are giving the expression and then converting to the data type. That is the difference only. So there is no difference, cast and a convert function. If I run this one, I will get the expected output. Now see, I'm getting the expected output. So this cast and convert function are used to convert one data type to another data type. How to convert one data type to another data type. Okay, by using these two functions, we can convert one data type to another data type. Now, we have some other functions called aggregated functions. Aggregate functions. So what are the aggregated functions? So in aggregate functions, we have 5 different type of functions. One is a min, max, sum, count, and then average. So these are the functions, predefined functions given by the SQL server. Then what is the use of these functions? For example, I have a table, so I have to start from TBL employee. If I execute this one, so we have a salary column. I want to know the maximum salary of the employee in this table. So with the help of these aggregate functions, I can get the maximum value of this salary employee. Now, how to use this one? Select max of salary from TBL employee. Okay. Now, if I run this query, okay, now I'm getting the max salary of the employee. So we can give the as a alias name as a max, and then run this query. So I'm getting the max salary of in this table. Now I want to get the sum of, that means we have a 10 records, right? 10 or 11 records. I want to sum of this complete salaries, and I want the total sum of the salary. In that scenario, I have to use the sum. How to get a max salary from given a table. Now, how to get a sum of a salary from given table. Copy this query. And instead of sum, I'm going to use the, instead of max, I'm going to use the sum. So now see, I'm getting the 4,50,000. So it is giving the total sum of the employees. Now, copy this line. How to get the count of employees? So I want to know the employees count. How many employees are present in this table? So you can use the count as a count. As a count here sum. And I run this query. So I have a total of 11 records in this table. I'm getting the 11 records. Instead of salary, we can use the star. Okay. So any of both are same. Now I'm getting the 11 records. Now I have a one more function called the average. So this average function will sum the complete records divided by 2. That value it will give the. So I'm going to use the salary column here, and we have to use a average. Okay. Now it is giving the average of a salary. Now with the help of these aggregate functions, we can do some other operations by client requirement. For example, I want to know, select star from TBL employee. If I run this query, okay, I have a last name and I have a salary. Now what I want to know the sum of the salary by name Shiva. Okay, for example, I have a 2 employees Shiva. So one employee having a 10,000 and one employee having a 35,000 with the name of Shiva. So I want to group this name. For example, Shiva 2 times, and by the name of Shiva, how much salary we are giving. by the name of Madhu, how much salary we are giving. By the name of Vasu, how much salary. So like this, there is a duplicate employee names. Okay. So I want to know the sum of salary by the name of the employee. In that scenario, we have to use the group by function with the help of these aggregator functions. Okay. Now how to control chat. Okay. So how to get a sum of a salary by employee name from given table. So you can write the group by function. So what you want to know the sum of the salary by name. So select what is the name of last name, comma, sum of, okay, sum of salary as a total from employee table group by last name. Copy this one in the 8 speed. If I run this query, okay, now I'm getting the 7 records. The name Kiran, we are getting the salary 50,000. The name Shiva. So we have a 2 records. The name Shiva. One is the 10,000, one is the 35,000. And it is giving the sum of this Shiva name and giving the total salary 45,000. And Vasu, it is giving the 85,000. So it will give the like this requirement. For example, we have a State Bank or HDFC Bank, the number of branches in India. So client will ask the requirement. I want to know the how many branches are present in a city wise. For example, in Hyderabad, I have 100 branches in a HDFC branches, and in Guntur, I have 10 branches. In Vijayawada, I have 20 branches. I want to know the total count of each city wise. I want to the count of city wise. So like that, here also we are going to using the same requirement. I want to know the by employee name, I want to get the sum. So here same requirement we are implemented here. Now copy this line. Okay. Now in this scenario, client will ask the one more requirement. I want to know the the total sum above 40,000, above 45,000. So I want to know the group of this name and sum of the salary, but the requirement it is the display 7 records, right? So instead of this one, I want to display the people who getting the more than 45,000. So we have to use having class, having sum of salary, greater than 45,000. If I execute this one, now see, I'm getting the people who are more than 45,000, those records only it is displaying here. How to get sum of salary by employee name and display salary more than 45,000. Salary more than 45,000. So in that scenario, we have to use the having function. So whenever we are using the group by statement, okay, in that scenario, we have to use the aggregate functions, any one of the aggregator functions. Okay, so there is a requirement. For example, I want to know salary column, last name, and the date of joining also. So I'm copying this line, copy and paste. We have a one more column, data of joining, right? Joining data. Okay, joining data. So I want to display the last name, joining date, and the sum of this one also. If I execute this query, I will get the error. Now select this query, execute. I'm getting the error. So joining date is invalid in a select list because it is not contained in an aggregate function or a group by function. So whenever we are using the group by function, in that scenario, we have to use any of these select queries in a group by class, or we have to use these columns with the help of aggregate functions. So any one of that we have to use, otherwise we'll get an issue. So if I want to display this column also, we have to use the in a group by joining data. Now I can get the requirement. Now see, I'm getting the value. But if you observe here, I'm getting the duplicate. Why? Because previously we are grouped by the name. Now we are grouping the date also. That is why we are getting the duplicate values. Okay. So like this, we have to use the group by function in a SQL. So what is the problem? If the date is here, the date is displaying the this format, right? So I want to convert this date into one format. So how, in real time, how to use this data? I'm going to use a convert. So I want to convert into varchar of just giving the 50 characters length. Okay. As a date. Now see, we'll use this convert function, and we can use the area of syntax. Now see, I'm getting the valid format like this. We can use the date function. Okay, so in convert functions in real time also we have to use the select query this kind of a syntax. So this is a group by function with the help of aggregate functions. We have to use the group by. Now they will ask you enter a question. What is the difference between a where class and a having class? So where class, whenever you are using the where class, that one we have to use a before of the group by function. Now if I run this query, okay, I'm getting the expected output. So I want to filter again this output. Okay. So what I want to get the name, the employee who's having the name of Vasu. I want to get only employee Vasu only. So now in this query, just to copy this out. So I can use, if you want to use the where class, you can use the before of the group by where last name equal to was. I'm giving the name of was. If I run this query, also I'm getting the only was record. So the difference between where class and having class, whenever you want to filter the data, so having class must use the after group by function. Where class we have to use the before group by function. So that is the difference between having class and the where class. Both where and the having having class, having class used after the group by function. Okay, where class used before group by function. Okay, that is the difference. And whenever you want to use the group by function, we have to use the aggregator functions. Okay, now that is the requirement of having class, where class. Now we have some other commands in the SQL Server. For example, I created the table TVLE employee table. Okay. All the commands. Select star from TVLE employee. So if you see here, I have only 3 columns. Now I want to add a new column in this table. This table already created and some data already inserted. But there is a requirement in between okay, implementation of the application. I got a new requirement. So I want to add a new column to this table. How to add a new column to the existing table? With the help of alter command, we can add this requirement. So how to add a new column to the existing table? Existing table. So the syntax is alter table name table employee. Okay, and I want to add a new column. Add a column in the first name and the data type. I'm going to give the varchar of 30 letters. Okay, so in this column, if I run this alter command, click on execute and select this select stock on table. Now see, first name column is added in this table. Now I want to add one more column, okay, email. So I'm going to use the email. And I'm giving the length is 50. If I run this query and command successfully and run this query. Now first name, last name, both columns added with the help of this alt command. Now there is one more problem happens. For example, some employees email may be more than 50 characters. In that scenario, I will get a issue. So I'm trying to insert one record. I will show you the problem. Insert into trivial employee. Trivial employee. I'm going to insert in the around record 12. You can have to do the comments. ID. Okay. And I'm giving the first name or last name. First name, last name, and then salary. Okay. And the join date. Values. So ID, I'm giving the 12. First name, I'm giving the Siva. Last name, I'm giving the G. And the salary, I'm giving the 40,000. And the joining data, birth date. Okay. Now I'm giving the first name more than 30 characters. Okay. If I run this query, Now see invalid column name first name. Okay, I have to give the file. After this name. Then this query. Okay. Now see string or binary data would be truncated in a table. Column first name truncated. What is the meaning of this? Actually meaning of this, right? So the length of this first name column is insufficient. I'm giving the more than this first name length. Okay. So if I give the up to 30 characters, this query will execute. I'm giving the only 4 characters. If I run this query, now see data is successfully inserted. But some people maybe they having a more than 30 characters length. So in that scenario, I have to change the data type of, the size of character size I need to change. So how to change the data type? How to change data type length of column in a table. Copy this query. Okay. Paste here. Instead of add, we have to use the order here also. All the column first name and the length I'm going to give the 50 characters length. Yes. Now execute. So this 50 characters is a change or not, how to check it. So to check, expand the database connection. Database. In database we are using the morning 9 a.m. Expand the tables. So we have a TVL employee table and expand the columns. Now if you see the what we are changed the last name, right? Sorry, first name. First name the data type length we changed to up to 50 characters. Now it is a changed to 50 characters. Now maybe there is scenario I want to change the complete data type instead of a length. I want to change the data type of this column. For example, I'm going to add one more column age. Copy this one, paste here. I'm using the age. So I'm giving the age is a varchar of okay 50. Execute this one. Now refresh this table. Refresh. Expand the columns. Now see age the data type varchar of 50. But I want to change this varchar to integer type. Okay. I want to change this complete data type I want to change. Now what I want to copy this query. Okay. How to change column data type in an existing table. Now, so we are going to change the data type to the column age. Now instead of varchar, I want to change into integer. Int. Now execute this query. If you see here, it is a varchar of 50 age. Execute this command successfully. Refresh this table. Expand the columns. Now see the data type is changed to integer from varchar to integer. So like this, we have to use the alter command. We have to add the new column. Now I want to drop this column. I don't want this age column in a table. So how to drop a column. So drop a column in an existing table. Now copy this one. No? So I'm going to drop the drop column position. The executed this command. Execute successfully. Now we have age, right? There refresh this one. No? Refresh. Now expand the columns. Now see age column is deleted. So if you want to add a new column, if you want to change the data type of column, if you want to change the data type length of this column, if you want to drop the column, we have to use the alter command. So if you go interview also, they will ask you the interview questions on alter command, how to add the new column to the existing table, how to delete a column to the existing table, okay, how to change the data type of a column. So like that, they will ask you interview questions with the help of alter commands. I'm just removing this one now. This query is not required. Now, do you have any doubts on this one? So these all are straightforward. Syntax only. There is no change. If you practice it 2-3 times, you have to remember the syntax only. There is no logic here. Straightforward syntax only. So one time below. So anytime the same query, same syntax, there is no change. హలో నా వాయిస్ వినిపిస్తుందా అండి?
వినిపిస్తుందండి.
Okay. So we have some other you can use constraints. So if you want, I will explain, continue the class. If you don't want, I will stop this one. So it depends on your can I continue or you can stop this class? Okay, I will stop this SQL server. Okay, we will start the C#. I will give this one now. Okay, if I explain you more on this, you will also get a confusion. Okay, closing this one now. We will discuss the OOPS concepts in a visual story. So last session we covered the constructors in a C#. So after constructors, we have a very important concept in a OOPS in a C#. So what is the use of, what is advantage of a OOPS concept in a C#? The main advantage in a C# OOPS is, right, code reusability. For example, if I write this employee class, in this employee class, okay, I want use some properties of this employee class properties into some other class. So without declaring again same properties, I can use this employee class properties into some other class. That is called a code reusability. That concept we call in inheritance. So in OOPS concept, we have four types of concepts. One is abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. So there are four important concepts. If you go interview also, they will ask these are the interview questions. Encapsulation. So encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. So these are four fundamental principles in the OOPS concept. What is the encapsulation? So encapsulation is nothing but Okay, in a real-time scenario, for example, we are using the mobile. Okay, so we are able to see the apps in the mobile, but how it is working inside internally, we don't know. So the software developers written the some code and they are exposed to output to the client. Client is nothing but we are the clients because we are using the mobile, right? So we are the client or we are the end users. You cannot call any of that. So this mobile I am able to call, I'm able to chat, I'm able to watch the videos. But how it is working inside, I don't know. So encapsulation is nothing but grouping the data into single unit. Okay. So in a mobile, we have a number of applications. All these applications, they are grouping into single unit and they are fit in a mobile screen. That is called encapsulation. But in a mobile concept or any other concept, it is okay. But I want to know the coding, how it will work. So we'll implement the coding. Now, what is abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but hiding the implementation and showing the essential feature to the end user. Now, take a mobile, okay? So we are watching the YouTube videos. Now we are able to watch the video. That means essential feature they are showing to end user. But how the video streaming is happening inside, what happening inside of that streaming, I don't know. That means they are hiding the implementation. So end user don't want. So I don't want that implementation, how you written logic. I want to just watch the movie. Okay. So how you written the code, what language you written, I don't want. Okay. If I pay money, I want to watch the video. That is my requirement. So developer they write some code and they will give the output. So that is called abstraction. And then polymorphism. So polymorphism is very important concept. Polymorphism means poly. In chemistry, we have a number of, in labs, we can combine the multiple liquids, right? It will get the different outputs. So here also polymorphism means the same concept will implement here. The name of the action is the same, but the output is different. So there are two concepts. One is method overloading, one is a method overriding in a polymorphism. Now, method overloading means method name is the same, different parameters. Method overriding means method name same parameters. We have to inherit a parent class method into child class. So all this concept will learn by the programming. I'm just explaining you now. Okay, only concept. So tomorrow we'll implement the encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, everything in the form of code. I will show you. Okay, don't worry. Now, what is the inheritance? Inheritance means parent and the child class relation. For example, I am a child of my parent. I have a right to access property of my parents. Okay, so same concept. We have a parent and a child class relation. For example, I have a employee class. In this employee class, I have different types of methods, different types of properties. If I inherit this employee class into some other class, that child class can able to access this employee class properties and the methods into inherited class. The same concept, like whatever I explained. So I have a rights to access my parent properties. Okay, same here also parent-child class relation. So we'll see all how we'll implement. And we have a inheritance, right? So there are types of inheritance. Means single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance. So all this we'll discuss tomorrow by the program. So I just explained you concept, the OOPS concept. There are four fundamental principles: encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. So if you go in any interview, okay, any experience, if it's a 10 years experience, 12 years experience, they will ask these concepts only. That much of important in a C#. These are the fundamental principles in a, without knowing this abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, we cannot move into the next step. So we must understand this concept, and then while implementing the web applications, we will implement these concepts in web applications. Okay, tomorrow I will show you how to implement encapsulation abstraction. Okay, this inheritance. So we will go parallelly C# and SQL. Then we have some interest to learn. I'm stopping the recording.